Hello, I am going to tell you about UPA tool. First, let's add the indicator to the chart. For this, we add the UPA tool to our chart by typing UPA from the Indicators section. It may take some time for the indicator to be added to the chart, so we may have to wait. Yes, now UPA tool has been added to our chart. The default settings are as follows. Let us now consider them one by one. First of all, here we see blue and red lines. This shows the market structure. CHOCH, in the long form, change of character, indicates a change in the market trend. BOS, meaning break of structure, are the lines that show that the trend continues in that direction. Dashed lines indicate that a market breakout is coming, while solid lines indicate our swing high, swing low zones. This shows the current market situation. Looking at the last breakout, the market is in a bullish trend. So we have an upward trend. There was a CHOCH here, and the trend changed from bearish to bullish. Then came BOS. Here, swing high and swing low are formed. We can analyze the market in this range right now. There are 4 concepts that the UPA tool addresses: order blocks, breakout FVGs, flip zones, and regular FVGs. In the chart, we will indicate breakout FVGs with IMB. Now let's open them all and examine them one by one. Yes, they are all uploaded to our graph. If we take the order block is the candle that make the market breakout, the lowest or vice versa. So what you see here are the highest candles. It's the lowest or the highest candles that make the market breakout. We have FLPs here. These are referred to as flip zones. These are the latest moves to break the market. It will be clearer if we consider it in this way. Yes, the blue zone that you see here is the last movement that broke the market, is the movement made by the last sellers. Breakout FVGs are also indicated by IMB on the chart. These are the gaps in the market segmentation. These are the gaps in the market breakdown as follows. If they are large, it shows that buyers or sellers are strong. The FVGs are a bit more ambiguous here. They tell us about the gaps between the candles. Yes, this is our concept. Now let's take the settings one by one and introduce them. When we switch to our settings, wave depth is the depth level required for the market structure to form. The smaller this value, the more structures are formed. As they grow, fewer structures are formed. Let's observe now. When we set it to 1.5, you will see the change in the chart. Yes, when we bring it to 1.5, we see that it follows the market structure more precisely. I recommend using level 3 as standard. Here are our concepts. If you do not want to see them, if you do not want to use them, you can turn them off. You can only hold what you want to see. Again, there is an option window next to the order block. Here, when our whole candle order blocks are shown, will it handle the whole candle, or will it only handle the wick when we select wick? It determines that. I usually use whole candle, and that's the standard setting. When we come to flip zones, we have 3 options there as well. We can make it look better by closing the order block. Yes, there are 2 flip zones here. Here again, similar to the order block options, there are whole candle and wick. In addition to this, we also have an order flow option. If you select order flow, it considers the entire last sales wave when creating the block. If you select whole candle, you will see that only 1 candle is selected. Now we move on to another section, drawing settings. Max blocks determines how many blocks to show backwards. Currently, the standard setting is 3. If you set it to 1, at most 1 flip zone is open retrospectively. You will see that it shows only 1 flip zone retrospectively. Yes, it's up to 2 now. Let's make it 1. Let's make flip zone order flow to show the difference. Yes, that's the way it is. Now let's click on EQ lines and see what comes up. The EQ lines also determine the middle zone of our blocks as shown in the figure. Draws a line. Click on prices, and you will see our prices coming up. Price information of each level is added to the chart. Volume refers to the volumes of concepts. Since there is no volume information in this chart, let's move on to another chart. Yes, flip zone is not currently observable. Let's go back a little bit. Yes, there is some volume information here. If we increase the number of flip zones, it will give us more volume information. Similarly, there is one more flip zone here. That's a trade of $13,207. This way, we can determine the volumes of our blocks. To simplify the chart, I turn off price, midpoints, and volume information. Now let's move on to the next section. There is a mitigation section. Mitigation determines whether the block will disappear or not when the price gets there after the concepts are formed. Currently, fill is selected as standard. Fill means that the entire price must cross this zone. For this block to disappear, yes, as you can see right now, our price has not completely crossed and our block has not disappeared. If we chose this touch so that it disappears as soon as it's touched, as you can see, our blog would have disappeared. Let's rewind and see it again. Yes, you can see that our block disappears as soon as it is touched. When EQ is selected, it says that for our block to disappear, the price has to come back to the midpoint of our block. Similarly, fill implies that the price must be fully crossed. We are looking for a price, but we don't have one. There's one forming over there. We're observing it over there. Yes, it's true. Our block disappeared because the price passed the EQ point. And when we select fill, you will see that it does not disappear, because the price did not fill the entire block. Yes, we are now observing that the flip zone is working. Another section is multi-time frame analysis. The current chart is the 15-minute chart. We have a table here. This tells us the market trend over various time periods. At 15 minutes, the market is bullish as the last boss came in. Let's go to 1 hour. At 60 minutes, it tells us that it is bearish. Yes, our market is bearish, as the last downside breakout came at 60 minutes. When we move to the 4-hour, it is bearish again. When we switch to a daily, it states that it is bullish. I'm going back to 15 minutes. These arrows indicate where our table should stand. The second option refers to the size of the table. It is now on the right, and I chose the wide option. You can see that the table has grown and moved to the right side. These are the standard settings. Here again, you can change the time zones and choose whether to include them or not. The standard settings are 15 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, and 1 day. You can review them. Another part is our Fibonacci settings. At the moment, Fibonacci has not formed. Yes, in order for Fibonacci to occur, swing high and swing low zones must be visible. After these occur, this feature will become active as the Fibonacci bottom and top are determined. At the moment, only the 0.5 range is marked. This tells us whether the price is premium or discount. The most commonly used optimal trade entry zones are as follows. You can also turn them on and off. This is how it helps us to draw Fibonacci lines. Our lines will be red when the market is bearish. If it is bullish, our lines will be blue again. When we open price, you can see the prices of the levels again. Returning to standard settings. I'm moving on to the next chapter. Volume profile in another chapter. This tells us which price range is trading the most when we have swing high and swing low zones. Let's open it and observe. Yes, let's open our price again the most. Between the swing high and swing low zone, we see the most volume returning at the price of 36.92. So this area is likely to be support or resistance. Here you can decide on the size of the columns and where and which area should be most prominent. Our standard values are 20 and 70. You can observe such a change by making it 90-30. I'll take our standard settings. Yes. Another feature of ours, first of all, let me close Fibonacci. Another feature is the ability to observe the previous and current high, low, and EQ points of the market. When we click on Monday, it gives us the Monday range. Yes, we can observe it now in our graph. Our Monday high point and Monday low point appeared on our chart. Clicking on the EQ point will give us the midpoint of this range. Similarly, I mark the previous 4-hour interval and the EQ point. The previous 4 hours low point and EQ point appeared above the graph. When we consider the current 4-hour interval, this is how we got our interval. You can change their time intervals as you wish. Yes, our next section is alarms. This is the section that allows you to set alarms on the chart. When we look at the alarm settings, there is a section that allows us to specify between which hours and in which time zone the alarms will come. Apart from that, we can specify which days of the week, which days we want the alarm to sound, which days we want the alarm to be sent to Telegram, Discord, or Python code. Here, the necessary adjustments have been made for the Telegram channel in the ready-made code. All you need is to set the alarm and paste the webhook link into the alarm option. It's like this. You need to paste the webhook here. If you would like help with this, you can send us your questions. And in which areas would you like to see an alarm? Sound an alarm when a flip zone occurs, get an alarm when breakout occurs. You can set your alarm options as alarm when order block occurs, or alarm when FVGs occur. Alarm messages are also standard. You can adjust them as you like. Another section is kill zones. These are usually used in smart money concepts. These are London open, New York open, London close, New York close, CBDR, AR, and no trade. When we open it all, you will see that these regions are identified in our graph. You can adjust their clocks and colors. In another section, we will share our concepts. There are settings for lines and colors. Let's set it to standard settings. Yes, you will see that bullish directional colors are usually blue and bearish colors, or concepts are red. By the way, I forgot to mention this. Here we have an extend setting. The extend setting allows blocks to be stretched or shortened on the graph. From here, the blocks are at a distance of 6 candles because I unchecked the extension. If you want to extend them, you can extend them to the right of the swing high and swing low line. Yes, UPA tool is like this. These are our features. If you have any questions, you can ask us any question through our communication channels. Thank you. Have a good day.